Hey, this is Michael Bohm with Youth Apologetics Training. Today we're going to keep going on this series about Wicca. And if you're still with me here, you're still wondering, okay, I've been through multiple parts now and I still don't fully get it. Well, we'll keep going and you'll get some more. But as we go here, it's strange because they have so many varied beliefs. It is confusing. So where do their belief systems cross and fit together? What similarities can we find within all these varied traditions and sects of Wicca? Well, here's some similarities. There is a covenant that was put together by a group of witches called the Covenant of the Goddess, and it wasn't uniformly agreed upon amongst all the groups, but it gives us somewhere to start, and then we'll keep going with some more common teachings in goddess worship, which is basically Wicca. So they put together these 7 points in their code of ethics, and so I'll just read them to you. I mentioned this earlier. They have this saying, "And harm ye none, do as ye will." At first word "and," that's not "and," that's "an," like A-N. And apparently it's supposed to mean if. So I guess a better way to read it is, "If ye harm none, do as ye will." All right, which illustrates their kind of white witchycraft side, where they want to skip through the forest with bunny rabbits. They don't want to hurt anybody, which, well, okay, of all the forms of witchcraft, at least they got that going on. The other forms of witchcraft are not so nice. So anyway, they have that. Number 2, they say, "No one may offer initiations for money, nor charge initiates money to learn the craft." And I find this hilarious because don't do this, but if you're dumb enough to do it, and you go around on all the websites on Wicca, almost every single one of them are charging money to initiates to learn more about their craft. How about them apples? So not just Christians are hypocrites. Anyway, number 3, any witch may charge reasonable fees to the public. Okay, that's to the public, not to other witches. All right, number 4, witches shall respect the autonomy of other witches. Okay, number 5, all witches shall respect the secrecy of the craft. And that's not craft macaroni and cheese. All right, that's spelled C-R-A-F-T. I'm sure you've heard that word many times. Anyway, sorry, bad joke. 6, in any public statement, witches should distinguish whether we are speaking for ourselves, our coven, or our church. And number 7, all of these ethics are interwoven and derived from craft law. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. That kind of gives you a little bit more of a feel of their commonalities. But here's a much better list of common traits amongst this Wiccan group. Okay, this is gonna zone this in quite a bit, and you're gonna learn a lot from this list. I pulled this list again from The Kingdom of the Occult by Walter Martin, Jill Martin-Reich, and Kurt Van Gordon. Sweet book, and it covers so many different subjects concerning the occult. And Walter Martin is a scholar of the first rank. The guy does his research and he does it well. So anyway, I'll put a link to this book on my website. I'll probably have it posted for every day of the teaching, so you guys can check it out. And if you want to buy it, great. I make a couple cents every time somebody buys a book from a link on my website, trying to make a little bit of money back for how much I'm spending on putting these podcasts up. So don't worry about it, guys. I don't need no money, but sure, if you want to buy some books through the website, that's awesome. That helps me out. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so here we go with this common teachings of goddess worship, witchcraft, and Wicca. Number 1, it says, witchcraft is a practice. Wicca is a religion. The worship of goddesses / gods is foundational to both witchcraft and Wicca. All right, did you catch that? So witchcraft, if you can imagine a big whiteboard, witchcraft is a gigantic circle that has many little circles within it. And Wicca is a religion. It's just a little circle within a giant circle called witchcraft, okay? So if witchcraft was the giant circle, within it you'd have all kinds of little circles like Wicca, Enochian magic, Satanism, Theosophy, and it just goes on and on and on. All these different forms of worldviews that involve witchcraft in one form or another. Druidism, I mean, on and on and on. All these different little groups, okay? Wicca is a religion within the larger circle of witchcraft. Makes sense? And yes, the worship of goddesses/gods is foundational. Anyway, number 2, multiple goddesses and gods exist as spirit parts of the universe. Wicca believes that they are different aspects of the one universal goddess/god, the mother and the great horned god. Sound familiar? Sounds kind of interesting here. Witchcraft views them as individual, unique deities. All the cultures on earth have different and valid names for these deities. And that's my cat. Number 3, the earth is alive. She is the goddess. And in parentheses, it says pantheism. God is in all. Everything on the earth is part of her living body. And in parentheses, it says animism. Objects have souls. So I'm going to do a podcast on pantheism and the difference between pantheism, panentheism. This threw me for a loop when I was a new Christian. I just could not get my head around the differences between pantheism and panentheism. So I'm going to do a podcast on it, and I'll mention animism in that podcast as well, because animism is similar to pantheism and panentheism. Animism is the idea that objects have souls. So you kind of like personify everything. Your iPod that you're listening to has a soul, and rocks have souls, and just you pretty much put life into just about everything. It's a very interesting belief system. But anyway, let's go on to number 4. And I mentioned this yesterday, but I'll just say it again. In a nutshell, pantheism is the idea that God is everything. God is in everything. So everything is God. You're God. Your dog is God. I'm looking at my dog right now. He is not God. I'm telling you, there is nothing going on in his head except for feed me. Anyway, your iPod's God. Your stack of laundry is God. Everything is God, and that's pantheism. Panentheism is similar to pantheism, except that there is a supreme deity. There's a God above everything, and he's in everything. So there's a bit of the divine in you, a bit of divine in your dog. And I'm still thinking, my dog? No, my dog doesn't have any divine in him. All he has is the food I gave him this morning and whatever food he managed to steal off the countertop when I wasn't looking. That's all that's in him. But anyway, a little bit of God in everything, but still panentheism says that this supreme God is over everything. So he's other, he's beyond, he's over. So there you have it. All right, so let's move on to number 4. All things are sacred, recognize the divine. That doesn't sound right grammatically, but that's how it's written. Wiccans often begin or conclude rites by saying to each other, "Thou art goddess," or "Thou art God." The serpent said in the garden, "Ye shall be as gods," and that's how he tempted Eve. We're not gods. All right, guys? There is a God, and you are not him, okay? I'm sorry to tell you that. All right, number 5, experience is the most important thing. Beliefs are secondary. Sounds like existentialism. There is no right way to believe. Oy, sounds like postmodernism. Every belief system is valid. Ugh, truth is found in experience, not dogma. Okay. The universe is like a puzzle, and no one can say they know the right way or the right way of putting it together. Okay, there. Number 5, that makes me feel like I'm insane. All right, 2 plus 2 equals 4. It always has, it always will. It doesn't equal 5. It doesn't equal 3. There are right ways and there are wrong ways. Okay. More on that later. Number 6, goddesses and gods have supernatural powers and wisdom that can help people if they take the time to study and learn from them. And what I would say to that is, you better find out who you're talking to, because if it isn't God, and I can already guarantee you that they're not talking to God, they are speaking to other supernatural beings. I mean, if they're having communications with beings, they're not God. And that only leaves one other option, friends. They're talking to demons. And I know, apologetics, we never talk about demons. Well, I do, because I'm the youth apologetics guy, so I can get away with a little bit more. The Bible talks about demons, and they are there, and they do communicate with people. It happens all throughout the Bible, especially in the New Testament. And, oh, yuck. If they're speaking with supernatural beings, and these beings are demons, they most certainly are, they're getting doctrines of devils. This is bad news, friends. So yeah, they're harming none, right? Their whole, and ye harm none, do as ye will. Okay, that whole idea, well, they feel like they're good. They feel like they're doing the right thing. And in a secular point of view, they are. They're being nice. They're not hurting anybody, but they are hurting themselves. And they're hurting other people by leading them astray in this Wicca faith. Okay, this will lead a person to the pit of hell. I can't really say it any other way. This is a doctrine of demons, and it will lead you to the pit of hell if you follow these doctrines of demons. So, number 7, human beings as part of the divine contain energy that can be used to affect changes in the world around them. Witchcraft. I mean, that's what it is. You're trying to manipulate the forces around you in a supernatural way to create change in the world around you. All right? Strictly forbidden by God. All right? And let's just stop right there. Tomorrow we'll pick this up right where we left off. But with that, come out to the website, youthapologeticstraining.com, and hook up with me there. I want to talk to you guys. Some people are starting to leave comments, and it's getting exciting. I'd like to build a community. I would like to interact with you guys, and I would also like to see you guys interacting with each other. Anyway, I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. And so I'll just read them to you. I mentioned this earlier. They have this saying, and harm ye none, do as ye will. That first word, and, that's not and, that's an, like A-N. And apparently it's supposed to mean if. So I guess a better way to read it is, if ye harm none, do as ye will. All right, which illustrates their, hey, this is Michael Bohm with Youth Apologetics Training. Today we're going to keep going on this series about Wicca. And if you're still with me here, you're still wondering, okay, I've been through multiple parts now and I still don't fully get it. Well, we'll keep going and you'll get some more. But as we go here, it's strange because they have so many varied beliefs. It is confusing. So where do their belief systems cross and fit together? What similarities can we find within all these varied traditions and sects of Wicca? Well, here's some similarities. There is a covenant that was put together by a group of their kind of white witchycraft side where they want to skip through the forest with bunny rabbits. They don't want to hurt anybody, which, well, okay, of all the forms of witchcraft, at least they got that going on. The other forms of witchcraft are not so nice. So anyway, they have that. Number 2, they say no one may offer initiations for money, which is called the covenant of the goddess. And it wasn't uniformly agreed upon amongst all the groups, but it gives us somewhere to start. And then we'll keep going with some more common teachings in goddess worship, which is basically Wicca. So they put together these 7 points in their code of ethics,